Hey there, my friend. I'm Dave Wood, and I've got a question for you today. When you think of a successful marketer, what do you actually see? Do you see a person sitting on the beach with maybe a smile on their face, refreshing their email inbox as commissions maybe just roll in just like the waves in the ocean? See, I see something different. I see the average person at their computer grinding away all day and all night, working furiously to get what they actually want. When someone's successful, people often, they look over their past. They don't see all the work that they put in, all the pain, and all the frustration that they endured before they created that success. They don't really see the massive energy that was expended in a short burst to create that magical outcome. And instead, what they do is they look at how effortless they're creating results right now. So what do people usually do? Well, they try to copy them. Brand new people just getting started in their business, attempting to do what seven-figure earners are doing, hosting hangouts, webinars, creating their own marketing funnels, wasting money on paid traffic with no strategy that the seven-figure earners have. But there's a big problem. Actually, there's a series of them that I'm going to describe. And that's that the actions of the seven-figure earners, the things that they're doing, are completely a different skill set than most of the actions that they're taking all the time. And they're not going to be working at all for beginners. Why? Because seven-figure earners and someone completely new, they're in completely different phases in this business. I believe that there are four main phases to monetary success in this kind of business, and they translate across a lot of other industries as well, but not the numbers, they don't work the same. The first phase is usually when a person's making nothing to where they go from that to making $3,000 a month. And I call this the grinder phase. The next phase, or phase number two, it's actually going from $3,000 a month to right around six figures, $10,000 a month, $15,000 a month, and I call that the producer phase. The next phase after that is going from maybe $10,000 a month to maybe around $30,000 a month, and I call that the builder phase. And then finally, from going to making $100,000 a month from 30 to 50 to 100, right? I call this the influencer systems phase. Now, each of these phases requires a totally different set of skills and actions. And if you try to copy someone who's at $100,000 a month and you're at zero, probably you don't have the ability to copy them anyway. So here's how the phases work. So let's go over them one at a time. We've got 0 to 3,000 a month, which I call the grinder phase in this business. The reason I call it the grinder phase is because this first phase is actually the hardest phase, but it could be accomplished and you could break through it in somewhere between 30 and 90 days if you do it right and if you take focused action. The easiest way to make $3,000 a month is to make one $3,000 commission a month. There's different ways you can go about that, but the higher priced the products are that you have to sell, the easier it's going to be to create the results that you want with less sales. Does that make sense? You could also make 3 to 5 sales a week with lower priced products. The numbers don't matter quite as much. What matters is the lead flow that you're generating, the conversion metrics, and how big your profits are. So if you're generating maybe 10 to 30 leads a day, with that amount of leads coming into your business, you can quickly figure out how to turn that into a daily sales pattern, making at least one sale a day of some price product and turning that into $3,000 to $5,000 a month in profits after you take out your expenses from the commissions that you're earning. Now, to start that process, you don't really need to worry about setting up complex marketing systems. New people should not be setting up their own marketing systems because it's destructive to their success, and it takes a lot more thought, energy, time, and money than most people think. Marketers always try to make the mistake of trying to be a guru before they have their first sale. So they're often trying to do things that influencers do, and they haven't made a sale yet, but how is that even possible to do what these people do with almost unlimited resources? Does it make sense? So what they do is they try to build their own capture pages, their own sales funnels, their own marketing videos, and more. I want you to find proven marketing materials and stick to them and make profit with those first. Like what we give you, for example, if you're inside the Total Shortcut system within Empower Network. If you just use the done-for-you, high-converting, multilingual sales funnels that are already in place, that are already given to you, they'll work. Don't reinvent the wheel when you're in this phase, because all of your energy needs to be focused on production, and most likely if you're in this phase, you're part-time. And if you're full-time, all of your energy needs to be focused on things that generate income, not on technical work and running around. See, the only thing that you really need is you need to have a high-converting sales system, and then you need a high-quality behavioral follow-up system working in the background. And the way that works is an email follow-up system will automatically follow up with your customers based on their behaviors and based on the things that they do inside that sequence, and then it'll change and adapt what they actually want. If you look at what we have, for example, in the marketing tool suite in the Total Shortcut system, we call that Kalatu Cloud, the tool suite. We do just this for you. And so every single day what we do is we actually give people emails and systemic behavioral campaigns that they can just click a button and send out, because it's going to even take them probably 6 months to even understand how that works, to understand how they're generating that profit. I just want them to get into profit. Does that make sense? So with our product suite, with Kalatu Cloud, we have a complete autoresponder with full functionality that you can basically set up and automatically follow up with the leads that you generate in your capture pages. We even take high converting emails and we preload them into your system, so you don't even have to write an email if you don't want to. You can just use ours and you can focus on building an audience, building your influence, and building your list. See, all you really need to do in the first phase of your business is actually get out there in the marketplace and generate leads by sharing content with people that attracts rather than pushes them away. And then when they come into that process, you need a scientific sales process that brings a new customer in, and then you need a behavioral upsell sequence that takes them from beginner all the way through to influencer. See, if you want to create 10 to 30 leads a day, all that you really need to do is you need to focus on a single marketing strategy and a single sales process. Like, for example, if you were blogging or using social media, you could focus on generating an audience through free marketing and building that audience, building responsiveness and influence, and funneling them through a central sales process that then has behavioral upsell sequences to make you more money from each customer. And if all that sounds really complicated, it's because you shouldn't be making any of that yourself. The people that understand that and they're like nodding their head and saying, yes, that's what I need to do, you understand, you have a lot of background knowledge, and if you don't understand that, what should you be doing? You should be focused on just building your business and making sales, getting traffic, and you should just be focused on building that audience. See, if you focus every day on using your tools in the toolbox to promote content, you can actually get anywhere from 10 to 30 leads very quickly for free, and you could do that consistently and scale that up within about 90 days and just explode your business. It takes no more than 90 days to have a breakthrough. And as long as you're consistent and you're doing something that's proven to work and just making adjustments when you get feedback from the market, like for example, what we do with content marketing, the Total Shortcut within our system, finally you're going to be in a place where you can just produce and make money. And all you have to do is tweak your follow-up email campaigns and improve them as you measure and adjust your results. So if you do something, for example, like you send paid traffic to default sales funnels, this is a classic example of trying to skip over the grind and avoid learning to do the things that you need to do to build your business. So you can't just skip the grind in the stage. You can't just skip to being a guru. It's essential that if you want this to work, you've got to put the effort in, because it isn't going to work like that quite yet. And now I'm going to explain why. See, $3,000 to $10,000 a month, which is the next phase, is called the producer phase. And in that next phase, this is actually a little bit of a bigger grind when you start it. See, going from $100 a day to $10,000 a month is much more work than going from $10,000 to $30,000 or beyond, because you're in a place where you can build systems and you can work with teams. The great thing is, though, that you can do this with the same lead flow of about 10 to 30 leads a day if you just learn to do smart personalization inside your business. And this is what I'm going to teach you today. See, once you're making a few sales a day with a really basic setup, moving to the next phase is as simple as adding a couple of supportive strategies to your main strategy and enhancing your profit that you make per customer. And what I did in my business is I actually made a big leap. I jumped from phase 1 to phase 2 by utilizing live events and calling people and running them through relationship building closing scripts. That's what I did, and if you do it, it works real fast, and we give you all the tools that you need to do that inside of our system. If you don't want to do it, it's okay, but it's going to take you longer to get through that phase. So if you do live web events, like maybe you could do it in Google Hangout. I mean, I used to have to pay for that, or a Zoom webinar, which is a paid version. This is the easiest way to sell to large numbers of people without getting on the phone. So if you want to skip the phone, you've got to do something live if you want to have a kind of similar effect with your people. Everyone wants to only send traffic to a sales page and just create a magical result, but it's the slowest way to move up to the next phase, and it never consistently works because conversions from doing that are always going to fluctuate depending on what hot new thing is in the marketplace. it's likely it's only a smart thing to do while you're building up your lead flow to have something consistent where you can move traffic into a process that you're actually working with to create results. See, the fast way to move to the next phase is to actually just get yourself in front of people by putting on live webinars, conference calls, hangouts with your list and with your team every week. You can provide some kind of training and you can just sell at the end or offer a call to action, go back through the process. Just be consistent and give value as you're learning things. That's the most important thing that you can do. If you give value to people, you're going to create responsiveness and rapport, and they are going to buy from you. If you don't know how to sell, don't worry about it. Get our Six Figure Builder Club, listen to what we teach here, and show up and give value, and just be consistent with the tools and training that we give you inside of our system, that we give you in Empower Network. In our products, and especially the Six Figure Builder Club, I give you my exact sales scripts. I give you my exact closing strategies for closing on the phone. I've closed more than 5,000 people on the phone. And that course is also packed with sales training and marketing training to help you increase your conversions, become more profitable, and get to a phase where you can really build big teams. And if you aren't comfortable selling yet, it's usually due to some kind of limiting belief that your subconscious mind is holding on to about selling that's not true. And if that's the case, if you find yourself resistant to the word selling, you just need to get in front of one of the most transformative people that I know, which is William Wood. And if you go through his training, he's going to help you overcome that by changing the beliefs and values you have in selling in the right way. And once you're a part of the Total Shortcut system, you're going to get weekly access to Will's live coaching sessions designed to help you overcome these limiting beliefs and empower you along the path to your dreams. Now, you're either committed or you're not going to be committed to this process of growth in your business, and I want you to decide now that you're going to commit and learn to be a professional. And by being a professional, I don't mean dressing like one, I mean making money like one. The next activity for dramatically increasing your conversions in your business, if you're getting leads and you're signing people up, is actually connecting with those new people and walking them through a process using the strategies we teach you in our products. Pick up the phone and call your prospects. In fact, right from our system, you can just click a button, it'll connect with Skype, make a phone call, run them right through a script, and you have information to help you do it. Even if you're horrible at selling, in the presence of connected rapport, you can always close people on the phone because you're finding out what they want and just helping them get it if you're running through the right process. I'm not talking about cold calling and picking up the yellow pages like you're taught in some courses. You can really do this easily without even feeling like a salesperson because our system positions you more like a consultant. See, after people have gone through your value-based email and video and content sequence, what you want to do is you want to offer the chance to get on the phone with you for free. So one of the things we provide people in Klaatu Cloud is an appointment scheduler. You can plug in a blog post and you can actually set appointments with people. You can do it actually right from emails, and you can get on the phone with them, ask them some questions, find out what they need and want, and close them. Autopilot commissions, as you're growing your business, they're totally badass. And there's something that happens more and more often when you reach systemically higher levels of income. For example, if you get past $30,000 a month, the majority of your income will be automated. When you develop marketing skills, have influence, have a big team. But the fact is, most network marketers and most people who are new are horrible at marketing, aren't they? And if you're horrible, it's fine. I was horrible when I started too. If you want to buy traffic and just have people purchasing from your follow-up emails, you're living in a delusional reality. You need to have really good marketing in order to do that, and you have to know what you're doing, and new people can't do it. They can't. They don't have the ability to do that long term, and if it works for 10 minutes, it stops working in minute 11. The kind of marketing my team create, and you got to understand that I've paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to construct marketing systems. That kind of a team can construct amazing marketing, and the reality is that we still need people to be involved in that process to really maximize the possibilities. These things will absolutely blow up your results, and if you're too afraid to do them, you need to address that concern inside yourself, that disconnection you feel of why are you avoiding the activity you need to take, and you need to address it and overcome it using the tools that we give you in our coaching calls, in our products, in the strategies that we're going to give you to take, to utilize, and to run with. You're going to get stuck in a more beginning phase if you don't do those things for a longer period of time, and you're never going to move forward otherwise. Live webinars, live hangouts with your list each week will overcome that problem for you. Offer people the chance to get on the phone with you, to get onto a free training with you, to get in a live environment with you, to get in a coaching session with you, connect with them, talk with them, and find out who they are and what they need and want. That's it. This will virtually triple your conversions and upsells instantly if you do it right. It's easy to do. Going from $10,000 a month, and then jumping up to $30,000 a month, which is what I call the builder phase, is where it gets really interesting. Because here you're entering the territory of a different kind of financial freedom and leverage around the world. This is actually one of the more easy things to do, but there's some psychological barriers people have, and they end up stuck because they focus on the wrong things in their business. For example, they get stuck on upselling, and they don't realize how simple it is, when the reality is that moving people through a sequenced process to get them to the next step, that's really all there is to it. If you're willing to connect and call your customers, or once you have financial resources, you bring somebody in, you outsource, you train somebody to do it, and have someone else call your customers, and you upsell them to higher priced products, you're going to transform your results. And the average person who's just willing to connect, they are going to be able to get on the phone and literally have $500 to $5,000 transactions in a single phone call running through a basic script once you start creating mastery and simplicity and you just stay consistent in this process. Maybe you'll even have to generate a few extra leads to get to that level and to have high ticket transactions like that. But I see people get there all the time with a consistent daily lead flow of 20 to 30 leads a day. I've met more people making $100,000 a month with 30 leads a day than I have who are making $100,000 a month with 100 leads a day, because usually the people that really make a lot of money, they're connectors and they're networkers. They're not the best marketers in the world. Now, the simple solution at this point in your business is to simply scale your content and scale your marketing to generate more traffic. Maybe you could even start experimenting with paid traffic or scaling your efforts through outsourcing systems and building teams of people to get more stuff done from the same amount of effort and focus around your skills. So you're focusing with connecting, being in front of people, and really leveraging relationships. Now, the next phase is even more interesting. That's going from around $30,000 a month in your business to over $100,000 a month. And that's what I call the influence systems phase. And I call it that because past around $30,000 a month, you enter a different territory where it's a little bit more difficult and complex from a scale of what you're actually doing in your business, and you actually need to work with different kinds of people in order to get that done and stay consistent with it. This is the phase where you're actually going to be building teams and increasing your budget across different marketing resources in your business to scale it up. To make a lot of money in this business on a consistent basis, you got to keep people around and learn to work with teams. By keeping people around and helping them through the phases of growth in your business, your team is going to grow, and if you're watching your numbers and paying attention to everything, your check is going to grow with that too. The easiest way to keep people around is to establish some kind of a team culture and really learn to love people, like I was talking about in the previous show. A team membership site, for example, or someplace where you post your team content. Maybe you could even deliver that inside of our content marketing system. A weekly phone call where you're constantly getting in front of people. A weekly Google Hangout, team hangouts. All the leaders do this kind of thing. Create some kind of community aspect where people are sticking around together and building culture. I know that sounds really simple, and the truth is, it is simple. But people only make it difficult in their own minds, and with trying to make it more complex to avoid the work that they actually need to do and avoid getting in front of people. People do this all the time. You can create as much resistance to doing this stuff as you want, and it still is not going to increase your check. You can also stay broke and struggling as you resist to just move through the phases, or even go through the first phase and just take massive action getting yourself out there. But as you move through these phases, resistance is actually normal because you got to overcome belief systems from the past. It's normal for people to try and force a level 1 phase into a level 2 or a level 3 income without going through that first process first. And a lot of times leaders forget what they did, so they're teaching you things that can't work in that phase, and you need to go back and say, what do I do when I'm new? And here's what I'm going to tell you. If there's something that's working, don't change it. There's that old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I'd encourage you to stick with that. See, sometimes what people do is they try to jump straight to the team building phase, or they try to jump straight to the influencer systems phase. They say, I'm going to go build a team membership site with my one sign up, or with my no signups, and that site will have one video about it on how to build a team by building membership sites to train the team that doesn't exist. Don't resist just taking action to move through that first phase. Stop doing the same things you've been doing and expecting different results without changing those things. That's what Einstein called crazy. See, it's a lot easier to triple your income from upselling your new members than it is to triple your traffic, and it's cheaper too. At first, what you can do is you got to simply focus on increasing your daily lead flow till you're in a consistent pattern of high quality leads. Then what you could do is you could focus on increasing your conversions to bring in new members from those daily leads. And then what you can do is you can increase the average value of each customer by using smart personalization processes and connecting with people who are coming into your team. The most important lesson of all, though, is you can't skip the grind. It won't work. It will never work. Spending all of your time doing live training with a list of 5 people is not going to make you rich. You're then avoiding the dirty work of getting a list. It might make you better at selling because you've got to convince that one person who shows up, but you're never going to create the results that you want in your business and be able to leverage them through teams. First, you need to build by building your lead flow and building that up, and then connecting with them by implementing a value-based marketing strategy. This is why we give people the daily shortcut, so you can take content that's transformational like this video you're seeing now. This is stuff you may have never heard, share it with the marketplaces and attract people who want to build a business and who want to learn and grow. Those are your best buyers. You could try paid traffic when you're new, but it's rarely going to work unless you know how to market or you have really good team culture to get you doing the right things when you're new, even when you don't know how. Instead of doing that, you want to follow the phases, and in the first phase, get into action mode, doing only things that could bring in new traffic, new leads, new customers, and then learn how to upsell them. Know when to shift your activities. Get a mentor. Find somebody making more money than you and ask them what to do. And try not to get stuck at an income level making excuses about what you're not doing and ignoring advice from your mentor. If you're stuck, it could only mean that you're focused on the wrong things, or you're not taking enough action, or you're not putting in enough resources. Trying to create any income by skipping to the top phase is not going to work. For example, how would it be possible for you to do the things that I do in my business and have camera teams and have SEO teams and have content sharing teams and copywriting teams if you don't have financial resources? That would make no sense, right? It makes more sense to follow the system, get into profit, and then scale. Neither does it make sense to try to force a $3,000 a month income into a $30,000 a month income like that by just blogging daily without understanding any of your conversion metrics or how any of the process works that actually have the ability to create the radical leap in income that you're looking for. See, the only thing that's going to create different results is different activities and actually testing things and improving them as you go and understanding the process. And it's going to start with the grind. Building up your traffic, getting leads into your business. It's going to start with getting on the phone with people and connecting with them and working with people in groups. But above everything that you have, you want to trust your gut and you want to have faith in the process that you have. There's a surefire way to never be happy and never be successful. I'm going to talk about that in tomorrow's show. And it's called listening to society and being trapped in the matrix. In other words, people who don't know what you want giving you advice that you're listening to because somebody gave it to them and someone gave it to them and big dumb society does it. There's also a surefire way to success. Get a mentor and trust your gut. You want to take massive action and you want to do whatever it takes to get what you actually want in your business. You want to take the action you need to take. You want to believe in yourself. You want to be persistent. And here's a question for you. Will you start taking massive action today? I want to hear from you in the comments. I want to hear, what will you take action on in your business today, right now, to increase your income and get to the next level? The best comment daily wins a free book or another prize. Read the post below to help you reinforce the concept you learned in this episode, because as we know, leaders are readers. So be detailed and thoughtful in your comment and really tell us what action you're taking today in your business to take it to the next level from these concepts. I want to help you to create a better business while improving and developing yourself by applying these concepts in your business and life. And so to do that with today's content, I have prepared 3 powerful bonus shortcuts to help you attract wealth faster while helping you follow along with the content that you just learned, moving through the phases in your business and actually applying it to your business and life in new ways. In your first daily shortcut, you're going to get a free PDF workbook you can print that will help you on your journey through your phases of success. You might just learn more about yourself than you thought you could in just a few minutes by going through that. In your second daily shortcut today, you're going to get a free audio download of today's content, and you can listen to that again and again to absorb these ideas into your unconscious mind and begin creating success in your life automatically applying these secrets to what you do. And in your third and the most important daily shortcut, I'm going to give you my entire business model, and you can just take these teams and systems that we use and make money with them right now. The Total Shortcut System, which you can get by putting your name and email in below and clicking on the button that says Give Me the Total Shortcut, can start you off with growing your list in the right way, following up with value-based content, and making money while you experience a total life transformation in a more fast, a more powerful, and a more systemic way that can work with lots of people. As you're watching these daily episodes, you can earn money and create simultaneous lifestyle. If you want to take action now as you're downloading your free bonuses, just fill in your name and best email and click the button that says give me the total shortcut, and I will see you in tomorrow's episode, and we will walk through and create transformation in the marketplace one day at a time.